Failure is one of the most important things we should be open to. Every single success I've had has come from my willingness to fail. So my willingness to fail gives me the ability to succeed. And the reason is very simple. Unless you take large jumps, you're going to come up with incremental solutions. Most people are afraid of failure, especially in large corporations. You don't want to fail a project. And the more important the project gets, more visibility it gets up the management hierarchy all the way up to the board, the less likely it is you want it to fail. So the less ambitious you make the goals and increase the probability of success. This willingness to fail is what gives me the ability to take large risks, which gives me the ability to succeed in larger ways. And that is absolutely key to innovation.
You know, if you're a CTO, you own the keys to the kingdom. You can, about anybody else in the IT organization, can help or hurt your company because you're making decisions that you aren't sure of today. You're taking risk, and that risk, the more risk you take, the more return or reward and downside that it has on the other end. And if you don't take risk, your company has got a problem, because no one else is going to do it. I think most startups think about the world in US terms. And what can I disrupt in the US? And so they're thinking about disrupting the recent and not disrupting the kind of nothing.
What's going to happen? Innovation will involve more complexity. Fewer companies will manufacture. Quite frankly, fewer companies will design. Being successful will become more important than ever. Now, if you have a product that's not successful, it could threaten your company. And everything is changing above you and around you faster than it can be. This is next 5 to 7 years in this industry is going to be one of the most fascinating times. And if we keep doing what we keep doing, all of your lives are going to get even harder than they have been, because the rate of change out there is going to do nothing but increase. Nothing but increase. And figuring out what's garbage versus what's good is going to become harder and harder.
I pulled out my iPhone and I put it on the table and I said, you know, this is a definition of an old phone. It's actually was launched 2007. It's old. The iPhone's moved past the mass majority. You know, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, this is, and I'll show some of the handset shifts that have taken place, but it'll be very interesting to see what Apple does. We're all watching that, but lifestyle is a dominating factor on devices. It's a statement of who you are. It's what you do. It's very personal. You know, in the past it was very professional, but whole integration of personal and professional. How do you separate the two? And there's a whole thing on BYOD and the security and privacy. And in fact, you know, a big issue there is less probably about the technology and more around policies.
People are malicious, they're greedy, whatever it's going to be, it doesn't matter. No matter how much training you give your people, somebody's going to click on some phishing attack and get you from the top, or somebody's going to misconfigure something under the bottom and something's going to sneak in. It doesn't matter, but people are going to be your weak link, right? Okay? I think unsustainable by themselves. Right? This is not a winnable war, attacking it the way we have, which is basically writing a bunch of virus scanning software, or the guys underneath who are trying to do all of the firewalls and stuff like that to protect you being attacked underneath. Those two mechanisms simply are not sufficient. And I don't think they're sustainable, because every time we put something on top or something underneath, they find a way to shim in between that. And you've got to think about this whole problem space differently. What do you focus on to minimize the loss that's going to occur as a result of this stuff, okay? And then finally, I'll tell you that there's a nascent set of properties of the private cloud, and I think also in the public cloud, that have emerged that I believe that if we take advantage of, all right, and put to good use, they actually allow you to take better control of your world and actually change the whole model and the paradigm entirely, and perhaps move the advantage away from the bad guys and to us. These are the things that are your crown jewels.
Change happens very, very quickly. And with the technology of the world and the invent of CNN at that time, all of a sudden information was instant. There's only one solution. The only way you can have conversations with the government or payers today is by talking about decreasing cost, and the only way you can decrease cost is with technology. There is no other way. We have tried every other way for the past couple hundred years when it comes to healthcare. The only thing that reduces costs is technology. That's it.